So let's get started on sort of talking about this idea of the breakout novel. You will notice that we are actually going to talk a lot about everything but the writing. There's a couple of reasons for that. First off, I'm not a writer. I'm an agent. I can talk to you about craft to a certain extent. I can talk to you about career a whole lot. So I can't necessarily say on a sentence level, here's your best strategy and so forth. What I can do is talk to you about the prep work that, in my experience, leads authors to success. There are a lot of really common threads, and if you spend some time hanging around with authors, you will find that for all that most of them have like wildly different processes, they usually have kind of similar sort of backstories. So even though they might, some people write better in big bursts, other people are slow and steady and very scheduled, you'll often find that they've sort of done the same things on the front end without even thinking about it. For this one, I have chosen our spirit animal for this slide. That's a groundhog, which, awesome, right? And he is doing what I want you guys to do, which is stuff yourselves full of as much story as you possibly can. I think that is just essential for anybody who wants to be a storyteller, to be consuming stories in a way that really gives you a wide knowledge base. There's this sort of idea of the 10,000 hours to expertise. And I think that's really true. It's interesting because I have some authors who we did sell their very first novel to a publisher, and that's great. But what they usually had going on behind that was a lot of time spent writing that we didn't necessarily see. So it might have been the first one they finished, but they had done short stories, or they've been writing fanfic, or they've been doing any number of things that sort of worked them towards that level of expertise. Honestly, everybody wants their first novel to be the one that sells. That is extremely rare, extremely rare. I think I have one person, maybe two, that I can say that about. It's just not the norm, and it's lovely if that's you, but everybody thinks their first novel is the one until they've written like number 8 that actually sells, and then they go back and look at the first one and they're like, oh wow, apologies to everyone. It's hard, and learning how to self-assess is an incredibly challenging part of this journey. So to me, the first thing that you have to do for this is you've got to be reading more, and you have to be reading strategically. This is something where you need to be looking at the right reads for you. There shouldn't just be like, you can honestly, you can read whatever you want, but when you're doing this sort of targeted stuff, I think it's really important to hone in and really almost do like forensic reading, where you're going in and you are saying, okay, what about this works for me? What about this is exciting? What makes me turn the page? So that you're sort of starting to unpack that stuff. I also think reading widely at this point, the beginning of your journey, when you're starting to think about like, okay, how do I crack this? Reading really widely is actually a very good thing, so that you're not just reading the same kinds of books over and over, or the same author over and over, so that you're exposing yourself to a wide array of stories.